Hi, my name is Vishal and I'm a senior trainer in multimedia education. I have 18 years of industry experience and let's get started with the video. Hello guys, my name is Vishal. In this video, let's have a look on modeling this dagger. This model has got this creases and planning these creases is very challenging for a beginner. So I thought I'll just give you a unique way to handle this model. Okay, so what all challenges this model can give you is the creases mainly. So I'll just show you what that means. So if you could see here, okay, so this particular line and this line and also this line, okay, so all these lines required is 3 lines compulsory, and without 3 lines you won't get that sharp corner. If you don't have 3 lines at this point, generally when you apply mesh smooth it will go like this. So if you want a sharp corner there, so I need that 3 lines going there. So I call this as crease. Okay, I'll be using this word frequently. So creasing is all about making it look more sharp cornered. Okay, so every sharp corner will have that 3 lines thing, and I should maintain that and I should build this model. Firstly, I would like to talk about what is the challenge we get in general when we are doing this crease sort of model. So I'm going to take a plane here. I'm holding shift and right click and then create a plane. Okay, so I'll just reduce the subdivisions to 1, okay, and 2. So you should be able to see there is a line in the middle. Okay, so I'm selecting that line and then just moving it like that, and then I'll apply a smooth to this by pressing 3 on the keyboard. So you're able to see that gave me a round corner. It has not given the crease. So what we generally do is we add a insert edge loop on both the corners like that, and then when we apply the smooth it gives me the sharp corner. So whenever you are creating a crease, and these 3 lines are important, so keeping that in mind we have to do this model. So I have loaded this reference in the front view, and this is the model what I have got. So if I could see the depth of this dagger, this is on a very thick side of the knife, and this is on the very thin side of the knife. It's a very thick metal piece, and gradually it's becoming thin as it goes down, and it should become very sharp to keep it, very thin to keep it sharp. So that's very important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan or tackle this in a very different way. So what I will basically do is I'll take a plane, okay, hold shift and right click, and then you get this marking menu, and then choose the plane here, and then just move that plane to that particular place and rotate it. I just hold shift and then I press J and then rotate it. So that will rotate it every 15 degrees. So I'll take the subdivisions of 1 and then start placing it along the crease here. Okay, so I'll just keep to that particular corner. Okay, and don't use too many lines, so keep it very minimum. So I'm just keeping very far at this particular time because we have to go long way in building this model. So I'm selecting that edge and I'm just dragging it there like that. I hold shift and rotate, then again do that. So the extrude, what I'm doing here is just by holding shift and just moving it like that. This feature was not there in the older versions, so it was added later. So at every junction I'm just adding a stop and then just putting that along the crease here. Okay, that's good. So here I will add a line. Okay, so I just insert edge loop tool. Okay, so you should able to see that. So I've added that face, and I'm going to select that line like that. Okay, I do it at every junction here. So I'm going to select, insert edge loop tool, and then select that edge and drag it to that point. Okay, so again I can use bevel tool, shift and right click, and then that bevels, and then adjust the fraction. Select that edge, again just drag it to that corner, select the edge, shift right click, apply bevel, adjust the fraction 0.25, and then select that edge, then move it there. So you should able to see I've created this plane. Now what is really important is I need to go to the top view and then just move this little bit away from the grid, and then I select the corners 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so I've selected all that corners, and then hold X and then use the grid snap while moving and then snap it there. That's very important to define the thickness what I was talking about. If you feel this dagger is too thick, you can just move it slightly inside like that. Okay, so if you could able to see, this is the flow what I have got. Okay, just have a closer look on what I have achieved. Okay, that's the flow, and also you should able to see that's becoming thin. I mean, this one is not to that level, just move to this level. Okay, so what I was talking is the middle loop, which is very important. So I need to create that one also. So I just created this drawing here. This is how it looks like. So firstly, as I told, 3 lines are important for crease. To get the crease I need 3 points. So that's the reason there are 3 lines here. Now the problem is when we add a T junction there, you get this kind of flow, which is basically not recommended. So what I have to do is I have to draw a line like that and draw a line like that, and then I'm just cleaning that. Now if you could able to see, I'm connecting that there. Now this is perfectly okay, but the problem is when I apply mesh smooth, the roundness go long way, and I don't want that. So that is where I'm going to put a crease line for this, so that preserves that corner. And here also I'll put a line, and here also I put a line. So this is how I plan my corner loops here. And sometimes keeping this line like that is recommended, and the reason I keep is this spacing sometimes can give me a sharp corner if the lines are too close. If the lines are too close, then what you get is you get that kind of corner here. If there is a arc like that and there are 3 points at one place, can give me a corner like that. So to avoid that thing, you can always take this line away from this point. Keep that spacing here, which is very important. Okay, so keeping these points in mind, I will model. So let's start adding the lines here. Okay, so I'll use the multi-cut tool. and then hold control and then just click there, and you get the middle line. Okay, now I need to fix the flow here which I was talking. So I need to delete that 2 lines. Just simply delete it and then use the multicut tool, connect them there. Okay, so I'm going to do that here, so I'm trying to address the core problem. Okay, that's the shape. So I'm going to select that, delete. Okay, let's try to first fix one of this point. Okay, so I told you I'm going to add a loop here. There's a vertex, it's not identifying the loop, so add that. Corners. Okay, this line what I was talking should be slide, so I'm holding shift and right click and then slide it over like that, and then nicely round it. Okay, so when I apply smooth, that gives the sharp corner. Excuse me. So I'm going to do that for all. Delete that. Lines, use the insert edge loop tool. There's some issue in the loop, so slide edge tool, just slide it over and then make it round. Okay, just keep it relaxed at that corner. Insert edge loop tool, then slide edge tool to slide it, and then just make it round. Okay, I need to select this line here. Okay, all the middle lines will be selected. And just move it slightly out, and that is the important detail which I need to achieve throughout the model. Okay, you can keep these points close. Like that. So what is that I want in all corners is the quads only. I'm not using any triangles here. Some people prefer to merge there, so don't do that until any specific requirement. Though I try to keep it small quads mostly, even if I want a sharp corner there. Okay, so this is what I got. So if you could understand this one, no matter in which way you work, you need to get this loops correctly. The very important part of this dagger has been done, and now it is all about adding polygons to it, and your job is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool called append to polygon tool. Okay, so append to polygon tool, I need to select one of the edge and start clicking the next edge like that. So I just use another side here and then start clicking the edge. So I've selected the first edge, then I need to select the second, the third, fourth, okay, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So if you could see, I've got the polygon. Just hit enter and then start connecting the lines here. So select that, connect there, and then you should able to get that curvature. Okay, so it's very simple to get this. So I need to add lines here, so I'm using multi-cut tool, and then whenever you are adding lines, make sure that lines are adjusted and respect that curvature, which is very important while you are adding lines here. Okay, so I just use multi-cut, again add a line and then move that point to that corner. So wherever lines are required, just keep adding them, which is important. So here I could see there's a curvature missing, so adding a point here is important again, and then move it. Okay, so simple, and you're getting your angle in the curvature. So I go to the front view again and then start filling this area with the same method. Go to mesh tools, append to polygon tool, select the edges. So hit enter. Once it's done, use the multi-cut tool, then add a line, then place that to define that shape. Okay, so I need a line here, hold control, drag, and then again use multi-cut tool. Okay, again multi-cut tool. So if you could see, this is a triangle until I've added this line. So I just add that vertex. This is triangle now. If you could see, I can fix that. I'll fix once I complete the total model. Don't worry about that. Okay, now I'll use the append to polygon tool. Click, click, click. I use backspace if I go wrong to go one step backward, and hit enter. I'll hold, I get a multi-cut tool, add a line. As I told, whenever I add a line, I make sure that I adjust to the curvature. Okay, and then insert a line again here. Don't rush to add lines for the details, because there's long way where we need to add more and more lines to get the perfect blade here. So don't rush to do that. So I'm using the append to polygon tool. Hit backspace because that's not connected to the edge. Hit enter. I could see some issue with the curvature. Fix that. Mostly I'm trying to see that it's round. Okay, now I should be able to see there are so many lines. I need to connect them. So I select the multi-cut tool, connect it, and then you get a vertex, and then move it to the blade, and all these lines will now define the curvature. So every line should be connected. So firstly, break the shape in equal quarters or halves so that your job will be much easy. I mean, don't try to do one after the other. I saw major breakpoints, and then I further add lines as per the requirement. So here I'm going to add a line. Again, this looks too stressed, need to adjust that. Multi-cut tool, and then add a line, move it to that corner. Okay, so quickly I'll add all the lines here. Okay, there is some angle I could see. That's the reason you could get that angle, and you should see that I am trying to define the curvature, and the points are I mean, they are converging at one place, so I need to create the flow as per that. Okay, so I can't make them go outside. So if you don't do this correctly, then you will be ending up getting that jaggy shape in the, so be very careful about that. Okay, so you should be able to see I'm getting the shape going correctly. So that's a wide edge and that's a narrow side, so that's the reason you see more dense polygons this side, and you could see very far lines here, and I need to add more lines to define it now. So I'm using the append to polygon tool. I hit enter, and I use the multi-cut tool, and if you could see, I can add a point and right click, and that adds a vertex there. Okay, and then start adding lines accordingly. I can use the X-ray mode and then it becomes semi-transparent. I'm using append to polygon tool on this side here. Hit enter. Use multicut tool so to add the vertex point and then drag it there. Actually it should go till here. That gives that crease. Again, try to define this roundness there. If I don't do that, it looks very straight. So you should see that X-ray mode. I exit that. I will assign a shader. I'll be using a blend shader here, and then switch off the wireframe mode and press 3 on the keyboard so that you could see that creases what I was talking about. And assigning a blend shader will give you the shine, and you could see I've done this almost. So it's all about adding lines and defining the shape. Okay, so you should able to see there's a curvature going here. Okay, and here also there's a curvature. So I'm using the insert edge loop tool and adding a line in the middle. Okay, and that lines has to be connected. So for insert edge loop tool, I don't use insert edge loop tool separately. I rather use multi-cut tool and hold control and drag it. So this lines again I need to move it like that. So as I told you, I just wanted this corner. So I think I need more one more line here. So instead of adding one more line and moving, you can select that line, okay, and then just shift right click and get the bevel tool, and then that turns to be a second line here. And I'm not able to get maximum, more fraction because it's this area is affecting this area's bevel. So this is where I need to select the lines and then use the slide edge tool, shift right click and then get the marking menu, choose that and then drag it. And as I told you, as I go more further into this model may demand me more lines based on the shapes, the fine shapes across it. I need to add more and more lines. For example, here this one line is not really sufficient. One thing I could see here, this line, okay, I'll just assign Lambert. If you could see, this line and this line are not complete, so I need to add them also. So before going into that, I need to see how this is done. So just checking these lines in a perspective view and trying to take a guess on what's really happening. Camera navigation is one of the important thing we do while modeling, and seeing the model in different perspectives is really important. So I'll just apply smooth, and then okay, so far looks good. So I'm adding a line here, hold control and then just put that line and connect it there. Okay, so I have to do it here also. Initially the model looks easy, but as you see, certain lines need to be connected, and that's where the model becomes bit more complex. So whatever I did this side, I'm going to do this on the opposite side here. First I did a bevel. Okay, so I'm going to slide it and make them equidistance. So do that thing. Sometimes when you have to move the vertex, don't use the normal move tool. Instead go for the component so that it will respect. It's like working on slide edge tool only. And if you could see, I've added the last line here. So whatever I'm doing this side, I'm repeating here. So I'm going to connect a line, slide it, and the reason I've added this line is to connect with this one. So so let me see the smooth again and see what's really happening here. Okay, I have few more lines which are left. They are not connected, so I need to do that also. So I have two lines here which I have to connect them. Okay, and go to the front view and see whether I have defined the shapes or not. So this line I need to bevel and add segments, and I'm going to use the slide edge tool and then slide it over. Like that. As you could see, too many lines going that side. I need to adjust them again. So use the slide edge, start I'll just move these lines there, and I just try to connect this lines like that. Okay, that will relax the lines what I've got here. Once that is done, you can add lines like that. So when I'm using the multi-cut tool, it's not building up the flow. In that case, you can select all the faces, and you can use connect components tool, and that will connect it. But again, it's giving a triangle, so I'm using the insert edge loop tool and then connect it. So this will be more relaxed in terms of the previous flow, so you should be able to see that. So from there you have extruded it. So I use the slide edge tool. I can add more lines, but the thing is, when you are adding too many lines, it start becoming more complex. It becomes more complex to handle. So the primary details has to be achieved at this level. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to okay, here I need a line, or maybe I can use the slide tool, and then so I've got all that lines which was needed for this model. Now it is all about pushing and pulling points to get the result correctly, and it's like polish your work after this. Like, you need to select that lines and then slightly give that nice curvature, and if you feel that it's giving a small lump here, just try to adjust it, and then okay, you can use at this time the shiny material and try to adjust the points accordingly. So I start adjusting all these points here to get better curvatures, creases and the details what has been seen in the model, and that takes time and I'll do it for you.